let's face it, guys, the Timney trigger, it sucks. Or it did, at least, until I did this. But Terran Tactical does one video and everybody hops on his nuts and wants to try out what, you know, a lot of people are saying is the best Glock trigger that ever came out. And while it is the lightest Glock trigger, and it did change the way the Glock triggers were made, it doesn't matter how light it is if it still sucks whenever it comes to the reset. If this thing breaks at half a pound of pressure, if it doesn't push my hand or my finger forward enough, or if it doesn't even come forward as fast as my finger can, then I can't shoot it until it does come forward. So I'm basically waiting on the trigger instead of the trigger's kind of springing my finger forward. And so that's what I want to talk about today is that's what I did to this trigger, is I added a little extra power return spring from Jonny Glocks, and it's definitely helped me get some faster splits like this. Before we get into it, talking about the Timney trigger here today, I want you guys to just comment what is your favorite Glock trigger, and if you have any problems with your Timney trigger, because I have heard some people having some problems. So comment down below and let me know. And it's turned out pretty good. So it was $11, I believe, after tax and shipping and everything. I'm pretty sure it's just like $7. Or it might have been $11 before shipping. Either way, it's like a super easy fix, and it helps spring that trigger forward. So let's take a look at it. With the old trigger, of course, it broke at about, they advertised it 3.5 pounds. Honestly, some people were having just under 3 pound break, which, you know, is great, especially for a striker fire gun and even a Glock. But if you press the trigger about like that, it would get stuck. And this would be still depressed, it wouldn't spring forward, and that's how you know it was just a shitty return spring, and it would get stuck right there. And I'll put a video up of it doing that. But as you can see now, I just broke the trigger. I can't get it to stick like it used to. It used to get stuck right there, and you can see it even isn't still super quick forward. Let's see, if I'm holding to the rear, it still comes as fast as my finger does, which is all you really need it to. But it still isn't like a super positive or aggressive reset by any means. But I will say this like simple kind of cheap fix has definitely helped this trigger a whole bunch. I'm not going to do a full review on the Timney trigger. I have one on my channel. You can find them everywhere else, but I'm just kind of talking about this part here today. I mean, a simple fix like that has definitely helped with the splits a lot. So let me go ahead and get my shot timer, and let's see how fast we can get some of these splits with this new return spring. We got my timer right here. Look at that. Set on instant. Hold on, sorry. All right. So we are going to see just how fast I can get some of these splits. And I mean, we got to still at about just shy of like 15 yards or so. So let's see just how fast we get some of these splits. I mean, for people who don't really know, a good split is anywhere between or anywhere under 20. So we're going to try to, of course, be faster than that with this new Timney trigger. Let's take a look at some of these splits. So I'm going to get this to focus on that so you guys can take a peek at it. 17, 16, 17, 15, 16. I mean, it's okay. Let's try this one more time. Let's take a look at that again. 19, 21, 17. There we go. We got a 14, another 16, and 15, 16 to end it out. I will say that it does help with it being so light. It does help on those longer distance shots. Say you're doing USPSA, IDPA, or just out here at the range for fun. If you really have to take an extra second and, you know, shoot that long distance, it being such a light trigger definitely does help with not jerking the trigger down. So I will give it props to that. But in terms of it just being the best trigger because it's super light, I'll have to disagree with. This Jonny Glocks trigger spring It adds about a 1/4 pound of weight to the brake, but it does help a whole bunch with the reset. It still doesn't make it as good on the reset as some of these other triggers out here, but it definitely does help a whole bunch. And I'll take an extra 1/4 pound, even half a pound, fuck, even a full pound of weight. If it gets that trigger return to just spring my finger forward, I would definitely take that. So actually, you know, while we're talking about it, let's go ahead and compare it. Sorry if you hear shooting. I'm up here at Windrock Shooting Range. Shout out to them in Oliver, Tennessee. We're just on the public side of it, so there's obviously some people shooting. I hope you can't hear it too much. But so right here we have a Glock 19, and it has an Apex trigger with the Ghost 3.5 pound connector in it. So it's 3.5 pounds. It's breaking just a little bit heavier than the Timney, but the reset on this is very aggressive and it springs my finger forward. So let's see how fast we can get some splits on this. I'll just go on the beep again, see how fast we can get some of these splits. I'll tell you right now, that already felt faster. We got a 18, start off 21, 16, 15, 15, 16, 15. So it was a lot more consistent around that 15 mark. Let's go ahead and do that one more time. I'm just gonna go ahead and finish this whole mag off. We got 14 rounds in. I'm gonna finish this whole mag and see if we can still stay consistently around that 15, where the Timney, I was even getting some 17 and 18s. And again, that's, even though this has a heavier brake, the reset is just more aggressive, so I'm shooting a little bit faster with it. Well, I know I definitely heard some fast ones in there for sure. Let's take a look at it. So first shot was a 19, 22, 16, 17, 18, 19, 16, 16, 14. Excuse me. Had trigger freeze on that one where you seen a 20, 13 split, 14, 14. So I could definitely, the trigger gave me the ability, and I do shoot this gun more than I shoot that, so I am a little bit more used to this Timney trigger right now than I am that Apex. So I could probably get that more consistently down in the 13s or 14s, if I'm being honest. So I'll say this gets the advantage when it, like I said, whenever it comes to those longer shots and accuracy. But in terms of just being the best trigger because it's lighter, it's just not. I don't agree with that. And I think a lot of people, of course, you just want to justify spending $150 on a trigger like this, which definitely I get for sure. You know, I get paid a bunch from YouTube, if any, so it's not like I'm rolling the money to be able to just drop it on $150. So, but yeah, that's everything, man. Thank you guys for tuning in so much. I'll see you guys in the next video.